Hi everybody. It has been a while, but I promised I would be back, and back I am. Today I am going to be showing you guys something different. This is a video I haven't done before, but I asked and you wanted to see it, so here we have it. This is the result of me decluttering my makeup. It had kind of gotten to a point where it was so overwhelming. I had so many choices and so many things that I didn't use. Digging through it to find what I wanted was just a hassle, and I like things to be easy in my life. So I took a day and dumped everything out and went through it and got rid of probably about a third of my makeup. So I'm going to be showing you guys some of the stuff I'm getting rid of and kind of giving you an idea why. We're not going to go through everything that's in this basket because that's a lot, but I'm going to be hitting the high points for you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into it. First off, we do have some makeup remover. This is the Mary Kay eye makeup remover. I do love this stuff. It does not sting my eyes. It does not burn. But what I have been using instead is a homemade lotion bar to remove my makeup, kind of like a balm, and then some micellar water before jumping in the shower and giving my face a good clean. So that's kind of been doing the trick. So I haven't been using this, so I'm gonna give it to my nieces. They'll be able to finish off the bottle and get some enjoyment out of it. I am also getting rid of, this is the Ulta Beauty matte setting spray. It is very mattifying, which typically I like, but as far as setting, I've got something better that I am keeping, and that would be my MAC Fix Plus. This one's the cucumber scent, which I absolutely love, very refreshing, but I really like the Fix Plus, so not using this one, so might as well get rid of it. And it's literally, this basket is just chopped full of stuff. Most of the stuff is going to get sent down to my nieces. They get the cast-offs of all of my makeup. There is a cat behind me making a chirping sound, so if you hear that, it's Azazel. He's calling the birds. So I am getting rid of some eyeshadow palettes, and this was the hard part for me, was going through it and deciding what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to get rid of. So first off, getting rid of this one. This is the Violet Voss Essentials eyeshadow palette. It is very pretty. I've used it maybe twice. Getting rid of it though, I love the formula. I love the colors, but a lot of them I have similar in the Flamingo palette, which is also Violet Voss. So when I'm at home, I just grab this one just because it has more options, a lot of crossover on the colors. So this one's going away. The Butter London, this is one that came in my Boxy Charms. Very nice formula, very pretty colors. The only one, this blue here, is a bit of a dud for me, a bit patchy. I just don't reach for it. They're very neutral and I don't do neutral. So that one, no point for me to keep because I don't use it. I am getting rid of a couple of my Unique palettes. Sorry, my eyes were watering and it's like running down. So don't want it to mess up my makeup. So I'm getting rid of a couple of my Unique palettes. We have palette 2 and palette 4 that got the axe. Palette 4 is a very cool toned browns and blues. I'm not super into cool tones, and I just feel like they look a little muddy on me, which could just be my skin tone too. So don't wear it very often, so gonna get rid of it. Palette 2 I absolutely love, and it is kind of these grays and dusty purples. And the reason I am getting rid of this one is because it is very similar to palette 3. Palette 3 though is more rose toned, and this one I use all the time. This one not so much. So this one got the axe. I was trying to be very, very, very hard on them when I was doing it. I wanted to get rid of stuff. So a lot of it got the axe. I am getting rid of, I do have an extra of the anniversary edition glitter palette, and that one I'm getting rid of too because it's an extra. it creates a really nice smoky eye with a subtle glitter. It's not a super intense glitter, but it's a subtle glitter and it's really nice. And then I've got a couple of the pressed powder palettes from Unique. This one is one I created myself, very similar to that Butter London palette. So at some point I was into it, but I just don't use these colors. And then I am going to get rid of, and this was a hard choice, both of the Valentine palettes. This one is very rose toned, so the palette 3 that I'm keeping covers most of it. This one is slightly deeper, and I almost kept it. This one here, Unwavering, is very, very pretty all over the eye, and I thought about popping it out and keeping it, but I know my nieces will get some use out of it, so we'll send it that way, and I have enough in my collection that I'm keeping to kind of satisfy that need. So those are things that got the axe there. I'm going to dump this box out. That's satisfying watching it all drop. So I do have a couple of highlighters. So this is the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter. I think this one's like rose gold or something like that. Molten rose gold. It's very pretty, very subtle. I just have other ones that I use more. And then this one is the Moodstruck holographic highlighter. I'm not as much of a fan of this one as I am of this one here, Iridescent. Given the option, I always choose this one. So this one's just kind of sitting. Might as well get some use out of it before it expires. So that one is going to my nieces, and they're working on building up their highlighter collection. So something fun that I know they will get some use out of. I've got the Coty Airspun setting powder. I don't use. I think it emphasizes the pores on my face. So not a fan of this. Plus it smells like old lady. So I don't want that. I know I am an old lady, but I am 100. I don't need to smell like I'm 100. I already know it. I did get rid of a few of my splurge cream shadows. And this is where I was really, really tough on myself. What colors do I use? What colors do I not? One of them in here, this one here. This one was really, really hard to decide to go. So this one is Treasured, and it is just the most beautiful gold color. But I went through my palettes and I have like 4 other golds, and they're all slightly different, but I had to be tough on it. So I got rid of a few of those. Cherished, Amused. That was another one that was really hard for me to decide to get rid of because I use this one a lot, or I used to use it a lot. I don't so much anymore. Very pretty kind of muted blue-gray color. But again, I don't do a lot of cool tones. And this one, a lot of them, I looked at, is there something in what I'm keeping that I can kind of dupe for it? And so this Flamingo palette has a lot of really pretty blues. And this one down here, Surf, is very similar. So why keep the cream shadow when I have a pressed shadow that's very, very similar to it? There's my rag. I'm going to get makeup all over my room. So that was kind of the reasoning between a lot of the stuff that I was getting rid of. The other colors I'm getting rid of are Happy, Grateful, and Assertive, just because they're ones I don't use. So a handful of those that got rid of. And then I did also throw out like 4 or 5 of them with the cream shadows, no matter what brand, whether it's the Unique or the ColourPop, any of them, they do dry out, especially if you leave the lids unscrewed even just the slightest. So those ones tend to, you need to use faster. And so I had so many and I just wasn't using them. So I actually had like 4 or 5 of them that just completely dried out. And so those ones had to get tossed too. So sending those where they'll get used. It's better than me keeping them until they're old and then throwing them away. Makeup does have expiration dates on it, and you should get rid of makeup in the allotted time. So this little symbol here, the little open jar, that's how long you should keep something after you open it. So this one's 24 months, so 2 years, which is about standard for an eyeshadow. A lot of my cream shadows were I can't even read. It's so small I can't read it because my eyesight's horrible. But a lot of my cream shadows were just unusable. So those had to get rid of. So I want to send them where they can get used before they're too far gone. Like this one here, beautiful. Let's see if you can see it in the light. Shimmery purple color. Good makeup, just not what I use. And I do like that one. And again, I have something similar. That actually is very similar to the palette 3 as far as the tone. And then there are some similar purples in the Flamingo palette too. And that was kind of what I used for my basis of keeping versus not was, you know, is it going to get used? Is it not going to get used? I also did get rid of a couple liquid shadows. So this one is Ciate London Eye Luster, Pretty Pink, very light, good for neutral days. Don't do it often. And then a couple of the unique liquid shadows that I just don't wear these 2 shades. One of the other golds that I was talking about when I said I was keeping the other golds that I had, so I got rid of the one, is a gold. So this one here I am keeping because it is just gorgeous on its own or as a topper. So kind of the more mauve colored and the more copper colored I got rid of just because not using them, or I have something similar. I did axe the last handful of my glosses because I'm not a gloss person. I don't wear them. They need reapplied too often. Turn that around so the mirror's not, so you can see. It's not something that I do. I either wear one of my chapsticks, like my bonbons, or I use a lipstick. And the gloss is kind of the in-between, and I'm not a fan of them. The exception being the Hottie Lip Plumper gloss. Love those. I am also getting rid of a couple of ColourPop lip glosses. So one of them was the Villains collection. The other one came in the Snow White collection. I just don't use glosses. They're pretty topper shades. I'm not using them, so send them where they can get some use. And then the hard part for me was the lipsticks, because I love my lipsticks. I wear them a lot. So lots of lipsticks. This one, the Ofra, came in one of my boxy charms. Not a fan of the way it feels, so that one was easy to get rid of. I am getting rid of my powder lipsticks from Unique just because I don't wear them. They feel very creamy on the lips, and I do like it at the beginning, but by the end of the day, it just kind of feels like it's too much. I don't like the way that it wears throughout the day. For me personally, it still looks pretty, it just doesn't feel pretty by the end of the day. And then I am getting rid of a handful of colors. This one was the hardest one to get rid of, but it's very similar to the bright pink and the bright red that I am keeping. Stubborn is the name of this one. It's a very pretty color. It's just, I had similar. This one is one of the chromes I'm getting rid of the red chrome because I never wear it, and Secure, which is kind of a pinky neutral color. Sorry, my brain's not going very fast today. And then this is the other one that I'm getting rid of. Sublime. Sublime is very close to the one that I wear all the time, which is Stellar. And if you hold them side by side, it's so close. Sublime is slightly more pink. Stellar is slightly more nude to me. And just on the skin, this one I think looks better. That being said, whichever one I grab out of the bag is typically the one that I wear because they're so close. But do I really need to keep them both? No. So the one that I don't wear as much is getting the X. The one that I do, I'm keeping, make sure that I throw them in the right spot. So I also have a handful of eyeliners and lip liners that I'm getting rid of. Just colors that I don't use or colors that I had multiples of. I've got a couple of whites. I've got a couple of greens. I've got a couple reds. This eggplant purple I never wear. I had a dark brown and a light brown. I never wear the dark brown. I had like 3 navy blues. And this one here is a sparkly black. I don't wear it. The sparkles don't really show, but it's a good black. But I have like 4 other blacks. So these things got the X. And last but not least, I did get rid of Serene, which is a blush. And this one I'm only getting rid of just because it's slightly sparkly and I'm not a fan of the sparkles in it. I feel like that just kind of emphasizes the textures on my cheek. And I'm careful where I put my highlighter so that I don't emphasize the texture and the blush doesn't go in the same spot for me. So that one got the X. One thing to remember when you are getting rid of makeup is look at the expiration dates. You don't want to get rid of anything, regift anything that's expired. And then also cleanliness. So things like eyeliner and stuff like that shouldn't be shared. I'm giving all this stuff to my nieces because they wear all my makeup anyway. So everything that I own, they've already used anyway. And they say you shouldn't. So this is your warning. Don't be like, the girl on YouTube said I could. You want to make sure that you're only sharing things that aren't going to give somebody else an infection or something. So eyeliners and stuff like that, you can get infections in the eye from sharing it. So you don't want to just like pass around the eye pencils to everybody. But like I said, everything's going to my nieces who have already used everything I own. So bit of family fun. But that's the quick run through, quickest run through that I could get at least of the stuff that I am decluttering. And that brought me down to one big bag and a tote of makeup. So something a bit more manageable for me. I did keep all of my red lipsticks, except for the one red powder lipstick, because I need 30 million reds in my life, and that is a true story. So that's my declutter. I hope you guys like the video, and if you do, give it a thumbs up, share it, all that good stuff, and I'll see you later.